and those that took place last year here in Nigeria, in Guinea-Bissau, in Sierra Leone, and Liberia show that despite all odds, democracy is alive in our region. We look forward to the consolidation of this trend in the region as we prepare for a major election in Ghana later this year. Excellencies, reminding ourselves of these positive developments is not in any form an exercise in self-glorification. Rather, it is a recognition of the progress we as a community have made. But the significance of these events and development is being overshadowed by the multidimensional challenges that our region faces. Our region is still confronted with multiple interlocking threats, including existential ones. These include climatic and man-made crises, leading to terrorism and violent extremism and food insecurity. Livelihoods continue to be threatened by illegal and unsustainable exploitation of our land, forest, and marine resources. Governance deficit and marginalization have strained social contracts, engendering bitter rivalries and unhealthy competition. To complicate the situation, our region has become the arena of geostrategic and geopolitical rivalries and the theater of misinformation and disinformation that engenders mistrust among and within communities and undermines social cohesion. Excellences, Messieurs les chefs d'État, notre région n'a jamais connu simultanément autant de défis depuis de nombreuses années. En effet, en dehors de nombreuses menaces liées à la paix et à la sécurité, ainsi que les défis liés à la pauvreté, notre région est également confrontée au risque de désintégration. Car, comme vous le savez tous, le 29 janvier dernier, le Burkina Faso, le Mali et le Niger ont notifié à la Commission leur intention de quitter la CEDEAO avec effet immédiat. Notre peuple, le peuple de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, vit au sein d'une communauté intégrée de la CEDEAO depuis plusieurs décennies. Les populations ont bénéficié d'une liberté de mouvement dans notre espace CEDEAO et elles ont commencé à percevoir les avantages de notre marché commun où les produits locaux sont commercialisés librement sur un marché de plus de 400 millions d'habitants. À cela s'ajoute l'utilisation d'un passeport commun et d'une carte d'identité biométrique commune pour le déplacement à l'intérieur de notre espace communautaire. Au regard de ces avantages, il est évident que la désintégration perturbera non seulement la liberté de mouvement et d'établissement des personnes, mais elle aggravera également l'insécurité dans la région. Plus spécifiquement, le retrait des trois pays portera un coup dur à la coopération en matière de sécurité, notamment en termes de partage de renseignements et de participation à la lutte contre le terrorisme dans la sous-région et d'autres initiatives conjointes de sécurité telles que la mise en œuvre de la force régionale en attente de la CEDEAO que le ministre de la Défense de nos États membres viennent de convenir d'activer. Le retrait des trois pays pourrait également conduire à un isolement diplomatique et politique sur la scène internationale, dans la mesure où les pays ne pourront plus bénéficier d'un soutien de bloc en cas de candidature de leurs citoyens ou citoyennes à des postes internationaux au sein de l'Union africaine, des Nations unies et d'organismes similaires. Ce retrait affectera également les conditions de voyage et d'immigration des citoyens de ces trois pays, car ils auront désormais à mener des démarches en vue de l'obtention d'un visa avant de voyager dans la sous-région. Les citoyens de ces pays pourraient ne plus être en mesure de résider ou de créer librement des entreprises dans le cadre des facilités mises en place par la CEDEAO et pourraient être soumis à diverses lois nationales. Ainsi, ces trois pays vont devoir cesser d'utiliser le passeport de la CEDEAO, la carte d'identité nationale biométrique de la CEDEAO et l'assurance automobile carte brune de la CEDEAO à l'échelle régionale. Sur le plan économique et financier, le retrait des trois États membres pourrait entraîner l'arrêt ou la suspension de tous les projets et programmes mis en œuvre par la CEDEAO dans ces trois pays et dont la valeur est estimée à plus de 500 millions de dollars américains. Il convient également de noter que les deux institutions financières régionales, qui sont le BIDC et la BOAD, ont des investissements très importants dans ces trois pays. Le BIDC compte 27 projets actuellement dans ces trois pays, d'une valeur totale estimée à environ 321 millions de dollars. Les trois pays ont apporté un total de 33 millions de dollars américains au capital de la banque. Sur le plan institutionnel, il convient de noter que le retrait des trois pays entraînera non seulement la fermeture des 4 structures régionales de la CEDEAO au Burkina Faso, des 2 organismes régionaux de la CEDEAO au Mali et d'un bureau régional de la CEDEAO au Niger, mais il affectera également la sécurité d'emploi de quelques 130 personnels de la CEDEAO qui sont des citoyens des trois pays. Excellencies, it is the dire consequences of the withdrawal on the citizens that informed your decision to open dialogue with the 3 countries with a view to maintaining the unity of our community. Before you is a report on the various démarches undertaken in this regard for your consideration and further instructions. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, ECOWAS will be 50 next year. In accordance with your instructions, the Commission has started preparations for the celebration of this important milestone. It is, however, important to note that we will be celebrating our Golden Jubilee in a context marked by geostrategic and geopolitical rivalries that have not spared our region. We must therefore be proactive in our response to these developments. It is for this reason that the Commission is proposing a special extraordinary summit on the future of our community. The honorable ministers have considered this proposal and instructed that a memorandum be submitted for your consideration. Excellencies, as I conclude, allow me to inform you that among the items that the report of the Council to you will cover is the dire financial situation of the community, especially the difficulties we are facing with regard to the remittance of community levy that member states collect on behalf of ECOWAS. I am confident that your excellencies will endorse the positive stance that the Council of Ministers has taken on the matter. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. We thank His Excellency, the President of the ECOWAS Commission, for his statement. It is now my honor to call on His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Chair of the Authority of Heads of State and Government, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to give his welcome and opening statement. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, members of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments, Your Excellency Dr. Omar Toure, President of ECOWAS Commission, Your Excellency Mr. Leonardo Santos, Special Representative of UN Secretary General, Your Excellency Mr. Abdoulaye Diop, President of EMIR Commission, Your Excellency Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, Commissioner for Peace and Security, African Union, Your Excellency Dr. Mohamed Chambers, Chairperson ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, Vice President Madame Immediate Honorable Commissioner of ECOWAS Commission, Special Envoy on Terrorism, Your Excellencies, members of diplomatic corps, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my singular honor to once again welcome you to Abuja on behalf of the government and people of Nigeria. On the occasion of the 60th Ordinary Session of the Authority of Heads of State and Governments of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to all of you for the continued support you have extended me over the past year since I took over as the chair of ECOWAS. Let me also recognize the presence of our brother, President Bassirou Faye of Senegal, who had joined our rank as the newest member of the authority. Allow me to further extend the warm congratulations to the government and people of the Republic of Senegal for their steadfastness in the consolidation of democratic governance. The recently concluded presidential election has been widely adjudged as free, fair, transparent, and credible. This achievement is a testament to our region's commitment to the principle of democracy, good governance, and rule of law. Excellencies and state government, distinguished guests, we have convened this ordinary session to once again review the situation in our region. We are aware of the enormous challenges, including terrorist activities and violent extremism, threatening to spread from Sahel region towards the coastal states, especially those that witnessed constitutional changes of government. The decision of the three Saharan countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to withdraw from ECOWAS has also been noticed. Our partners are carrying out critical intervention in countries affected by humanitarian crisis. Excellencies, head of state and government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me underscore that a peaceful and secure society is essential for achieving our potential. As we move to operationalize the ECOWAS Standby Force, ESF, in combating terrorism. I must emphasize that the success of this plan requires not only strong political will, but also substantial financial resources. We must, therefore, ensure that we meet the expectations and recommendations set forth by our ministers of defense and finance in order to counter the insecurity and stabilize our region. Member states must make extra commitment on providing resources for stabilizing the region. To this end, I urge ECOWAS to leverage on the capability of the Nigerian National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, which is widely acknowledged as one of the best on the continent. The Nigerian government has decided to declare the NCTC as a regional center to enable all ECOWAS member states benefit from the capacity building and the other related opportunities it offers. Your Excellencies, dear Head of State, I urge those of you with time to visit the center before your departure and assess firsthand on the facilities and capability of NCTC. I'm also fully aware of other challenges confronting our region, especially the economic hurdles that hinder our progress. To elevate our people from poverty to prosperity, it is imperative that we unite as a community and develop innovative approaches to unleash our vast economic potential. We must continue to identify and develop partnerships that promote investment in key sectors and promote regional trade. Furthermore, we must invest in our infrastructure and cultivate a conducive business environment to empower our communities to stimulate growth and build resilience against external shocks. Together, we can pave the way for a prosperous future for all ECOWAS sub-region. Excellencies, Head of State and Government, distinguished guests, I also acknowledge the financial challenges of our organization. Difficult economic conditions and consistent payment of financial commitments to ECOWAS have contributed to the current plight. To ensure ECOWAS has adequate resources for its program and activities, I urge all member states to ensure full compliance with the protocol on the community levy. Nigeria, under my leadership, is committed to leading by example by remitting its collected levies to the organization. By the way, we resolved in a caucus meeting that details of outstandings by countries will be distributed from the ECOWAS Secretariat and keep us informed. Nevertheless, the ECOWAS management must also reduce its overhead expenditures and focus on programs and activities that directly impact the lives of our citizens. I am aware of the progress report on the implementation of the ECOWAS institutional reforms. I therefore call on the President of the ECOWAS Commission to resume and expedite conclusions of the second phase of the institutional reforms. The aim at reducing the organization's operational costs is there. I further call on the Administration and Finance Committee, AFC, and the Permanent Representatives Committee, PRC, supervised by the Council of Ministers, to ensure vigilant, rigorous, prudent financial management of the resources contributed by our taxpayers. Furthermore, I encourage the ECOWAS Commission to establish in-country steering committees comprising of relevant stakeholders within our respective member states to implement ECOWAS programs and other activities. The West African Health Organization has already implemented a similar model with great success. I must commend the President of the Commission for this initiative. Thank you very much. Indeed, adopting this model within the Commission and other institutions will enhance transparency and accountability, as well as promote greater ownership of programs and activities by our member states. During this 65th ordinary session, we will consider, as always, several issues affecting critical areas of the community through reports and memoranda on agenda, including 2024 interim report on state of the community, report of the 52nd ordinary session of the Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level, and memorandum on status of implementation of ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme, among others. I would therefore urge us to carefully consider the issues to be presented to us here today and make concrete decisions for our community. Before closing, I would like to remind my esteemed colleague that the elections for the management of the African of Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, seeking a re-election as the sole male candidate for this position from our region.
Of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and chairperson of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. Excellencies, Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS member states, Your Excellency Omar Aliou Touré, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Your Excellency Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, the African Union Commission, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to be present here today and a pleasure to convey warm greetings from the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres, who is keenly following developments in the sub-region. I thank you for your kind invitation. The past several months have witnessed a number of key political developments in the sub-region. One of these was the successful conduct of presidential elections in Senegal on 24th March. I would like also to congratulate President Bassirou Diomaye Faye for his victory at that election. Monsieur le Président, à l'occasion de votre accession aux plus hautes fonctions de votre pays, nous vous félicitons, ainsi que le peuple sénégalais, pour cette victoire qui représente également un progrès démocratique pour l'ensemble de la sous-région. The successful conduct of the elections in Senegal, several months after those in Liberia, which resulted in the elections of President Joseph Boakai, whom I salute and congratulate, are significant positive developments in a very challenging political context in our sub-region. As some member states prepare for future elections, including the upcoming December general elections in Ghana, we must increase our efforts to promote greater inclusiveness, particularly of youth, women, and the people living with disabilities in electoral and political processes and in governance in general. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to commend your continuous and sustainable efforts to address the multiple challenges facing the sub-region, particularly the threat to the unity and cohesion of ECOWAS, and your tireless efforts to address the scourge of terrorism, including through the setting up of a counter-terrorism force. On our part, and in the spirit of complementarity, we have continued engagement with the various actors and relevant stakeholders in and beyond the sub-region. This as part of efforts to contribute to a lasting solution to the standoff between ECOWAS and the 3 member states, and in contributing to efforts aimed at addressing security challenges, consolidating democracy and good governance, and promoting development in our sub-region. In this context, I visited Burkina Faso and Niger in March, and traveled to Mali in May, where I held discussions with national leaders and other relevant stakeholders. I encouraged the authorities of the 3 countries to collaborate with ECOWAS, coastal states and their neighbors, including through integrated security mechanisms such as the Accra Initiative. In this regard, I visited Cote d'Ivoire 2 weeks ago, and I was in Ghana a few days ago, where I had fruitful discussions with their Excellencies President Alassane Ouattara and President Nana Akufo-Addo, respectively, on the need to prevent terrorism to continuously spill over across our region. I encourage the continuation of efforts aimed at preserving the integrity and cohesion of ECOWAS, essential for the strengthening of the necessary conditions for deepening the regional integration process. In my continuous engagement with the key international partners, I traveled to Moscow in March, where I held discussions with the Russian authorities and officials on the situation in our sub-region, especially in the Sahel. I stressed the need for them to contribute to the socio-economic development of partner countries in the region, and I also highlighted the importance of supporting and building on the efforts of ECOWAS. Meanwhile, a delegation of regional directors of UN agencies, funds and programs in West Africa recently carried out missions to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to assess how the United Nations can continue to better support the people of these countries. One of the major concerns which stands out in these countries and the sub-region in general is the decline in funding for humanitarian assistance, which is currently only at about 20% of the needs. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in the context of complex challenges in the sub-region, the United Nations will continue to support national and regional efforts to ensure peace and stability, enhance democracy and good governance, including through inclusive political processes and socio-economic development, with emphasis on economic empowerment of women and youth. From 18 to 20th June, I was honored to co-lead with Her Excellency Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang, former Vice President of the Gambia, an ECOWAS AU UNOWA's joint mission to Sierra Leone. The mission, amongst others, succeeded in bringing back the Opposition All People's Congress to the tripartite peace table within the framework of the Agreement for National Unity signed by government and the APC on 18 October 2023. On the 1st July, the tripartite committee handed over to President Julius Maada Bio its report, which paves the way for the country move forward. On behalf of my colleagues, members of the Independent Committee of Guarantors, and on my own behalf, I take this opportunity to congratulate both the government of Sierra Leone and All People's Congress for their dedicated efforts to find peaceful solutions to their differences, putting the interests of the people of Sierra Leone as their common priority. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would like to reiterate the availability of UNOWAS and that of the entire UN system to work closely with ECOWAS in support of national and regional efforts for peace, security, and development in West Africa. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Nous remercions Son Excellence Léonard de Sanchez-Simão pour son allocution. Maintenant, nous allons recevoir et entendre le discours de Son Excellence Moussa Faki, président de la Commission de l'Union africaine, prononcé par Son Excellence Bankole Adéoye, commissaire aux affaires politiques, à la paix et à la sécurité de la Commission de l'Union africaine. Merci.
Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Chair of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government and President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Excellencies, Heads of State and Government here present, Excellency, Chair of ECOWAS Council of Ministers, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tuga, Honorable Ministers, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, former President of the ECOWAS Commission, Special Representative of the United Nations, Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency, Moussa Faki Mahamat, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, the African Union is highly honored and most appreciative of the consistent invitation and engagement with ECOWAS at all levels. Regrettably, Chairperson Mahamat is unable to join you today due to earlier commitments, and he has requested me to convey this message. With your kind permission, Chair, I will respectfully proceed to deliver a statement. I quote, "First, the African Union extends highest commendation to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his progressive, astute, and resourceful leadership in steering the affairs of ECOWAS, especially in the fight against terrorism, violent extremism, and unconstitutional changes of government. Excellencies, let me underscore that the African Union and ECOWAS have been collaborating to collectively deepen the nexus between peace, security, and sustainable development. In effect, Excellencies, regional integration and political stability are fundamentally intertwined, each being vital and mutually reinforcing for our shared peace, development, and prosperity. In addition, joint consultations between the African Union Peace and Security Council and the ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council at ambassadorial level was inaugurated in Abuja last April. The consultation served as the first historic opportunity for the two security organs to promote continental and regional interface, coordination, and harmonization of peace initiatives to achieve greater synergy. Excellencies, the African Union is committed to continuously strengthen with renewed energy the collaboration to attain value-driven and smart partnerships with ECOWAS. In this respect, permit me, Chair, Excellencies, to underscore some key major priorities for effective collaboration with ECOWAS. First, strengthening political will and alignment of national, continental, and regional priorities to achieve regional solutions driven by Agenda 2063 and, of course, the ECOWAS Vision 2050. This will be, for us, value addition to regional stability and security. Excellencies, secondly, the urgency to intensify efforts to construct a collective and inclusive front against terrorism, violent extremism, insurgency, and undemocratic means to power, including cyber criminality, are critical areas that must be addressed. In this connection, Excellencies, we commend the government of Nigeria and the United Nations for successfully convening the first high-level ministerial meeting on counterterrorism and violent extremism held in Abuja last April. The AU Peace and Security Council just last week adopted the Abuja Declaration as a way forward in countering terrorism and specifically called for its immediate implementation. Thirdly, Excellencies, the imperative of retooling our strategies to support the consolidation of democratic governance through community-led and owned approaches that will be championed by inclusivity of participation of women and the youth is also a way forward in our priorities with ECOWAS. It is necessary, Excellencies, that we affirm the role of ECOWAS as we look forward to the 50th anniversary to be marked in 2025. Your union, the African Union, will join ECOWAS in celebrating the 5 decades of a successful, innovative, and resilient model of regional integration. Excellencies, for us in the Union, ECOWAS is a regional body of substance, a regional body of repute, a pace setter in peace enforcement, a pace setter in African solutions to African problems, a pace setter in silencing the guns, a democratic space for constitutional order, as evident in the recent smooth political transitions in the Republic of Liberia and the Republic of Senegal. Excellencies, the African Union is indeed very proud of ECOWAS. We advocate for a united community. We advocate and we fully support the unity of ECOWAS. The withdrawal by 3 countries is unacceptable to the African Union, and we believe in one ECOWAS. Chairman, Excellencies, let me conclude by categorically affirming that with ECOWAS in the forefront, the future of regional, political, and socio-economic integration is very bright on our continent. I thank you very much, and I believe this will be the end of our deliberations for today from the African Union, and I want to assure you that Chairperson Faki will continuously support all your outcomes. I thank you.
We thank His Excellency for sharing with us the message from His Excellency, the President of the African Union Commission. This statement brings to an end the opening ceremony of the 65th Ordinary Session of the Authority. At this time, the Authority will continue its deliberations in a closed-door session. Therefore, we ask our distinguished guests, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and all invitees who are not accredited to participate in the closed door.
Welcome to Noble Black News, where empowerment meets truth. Our mission is to uplift and empower the Black community. We stand for truth, integrity, and representation. Our stories are your stories, told with pride and passion. Join us as we celebrate our heritage and our future. Together, we are stronger, louder, and more united. Noble Black News is your voice, your platform, your news. We bring you the stories that matter, with integrity and heart. Our commitment is to the truth, no matter the cost. We highlight the achievements and struggles of our community. Every story we tell is a step towards empowerment. We are more than news. We are a movement. Join us in making a difference, one story at a time. Together, we can change the narrative. Noble Black News, empowering our community, one story at a time.